What is up and welcome back. Unfortunately, this week I were not able to stream at my locals, so instead, today I'll be showing you my take on the Azamina Snake Eyes deck that I'm currently bringing to locals and I will be bringing to future tournaments. But without any further ado, let's jump right into the deck profile. So I want to preface this deck list with saying this is not my total finished project. There are still, the last 6 cards or something like that I'm tinkering with, testing with. But currently I'm playing 44 cards. I feel like this is a great number. You want to play around 45 with this list, with this deck. But yeah, for the Snake Eyes, we are playing 1 Ash, of course, and 1 Poplar. This is mandatory. I feel like 2 Ogre is amazing. You want 1 for your going first combo, and then if the opponent just can play through it, you have the second Oak to get back into the game. I'm playing Birch. I think Birch is a great card for the hands where you already have the Poplar, or if for some reason the Poplar is missing, like being able to summon the Ash and still have the Extender is amazing. And then we're playing the mandatory 1 Diabell Star and 1 Flamberge. Like, you don't want to see this, but you want to combo with them, so you don't want to play more than that. Alongside that, we're playing 1 Bonfire, sorry, 1 for 1 and 2 Bonfire. I were testing with 3 Bonfire, and I'm still not sure about the 1 for 1. I found myself usually siding out 1 Bonfire, just, it's a great extender, but if your opponent doesn't stop you, this is just a dead card, and I often saw 2 of it in my opening hand, so I didn't really feel great about it. So in that case, 1 for 1 like helps, but having a good starting hand, getting to the Azamina cards and stuff like that, necking even more in hand for 1 for 1 feels iffy. But so far it is an amazing card. Not using your normal summon has helped me for a couple of games. And then the mandatory field spell and the OSS. I feel like I only want to play 1 OSS. I have seen some lists or thought about playing multiple, but I just like, it's a great card, don't get me wrong, but you have so many ways of finding it and searching it that having the second one just feels odd to me, especially when the effect is, well, each effect, it is 1 effect per turn, so I don't see the second one ever coming up. For the, well, I guess Azamina stuff, not really sure how I'd call it, we're playing 3 Witch, 1 Hallowed, 3 Deception, and 3 Wanted. I often see myself, if I am tight on side space, I often side out 1 Witch, because we have so many ways of getting to it with the Wanted, and Deception in some capacities also can search it. I have seen people only playing 2 Deception, and I feel like that is wrong. Like, Deception is such a great card and is on its own a starter or an interruption catcher. Of course, it netting us a Omni-Negate and the potential to, if we don't have any other engine, finding engine. So I definitely always play 3 of this. This is searching everything that we need. And 1 Hollowed, of course, because we don't want to see that, we want to search it. And also, of course, we're playing 1 Azarune because we're playing Rabbit. Especially with the end board I'm playing. I want to reach. The Azarune is a key card. So now that I'm not playing Fire King, I instead is playing a Kashtira package. Quite small one, I'd say. We're playing 1 Fenrir, 2 Unicorn. I always want to see the Unicorn, but the Fenrir is... well, it replaces itself and can search the Unicorn. And of course, replacing itself, I'm talking about the Deception. Alongside that, we're playing a Birth. It is a great card. Also helps us with, if you have Oak and you need to tribute something, Birth is fine on its own. And, Unicorn and Birth on itself is control. I have won some games where either my engine were stopped, or I just didn't have any plays, where Unicorn Birth was just enough to help me through the game. And also, of course, playing 2 Wraith Soth. Usually getting the Fenrir, but if I already have it, we're getting a Unicorn. And it's also like the Birth in Extender. Now for non-engine, I am playing the best cards in the game. of course, the 3 Foolers. I feel like this in main is mandatory. If you have it, of course, it is not a cheap card. But, you know, even going first, being able to just send it off 1 for 1 a Deception is fine. We're playing 3 Droll. Droll is amazing in this format. Usually just stopping combos. Even this deck suffers on the Droll. We're playing 3 Ash, cause Ash is Ash. Nothing really to say about that. And the other amazing card, Impulse. Even though Impulse is potentially turning off the Kashtira package and also the Fubulas, I still feel like Impulse is amazing. Worst case scenario, we go second, we Impulse something, they pass, and we have a Kashtira card in hand. We just special summon it anyway and it's Beast Stick instead, or something that we contribute off the Deception or whatever. It's too good to not be played, and the Kashtira is the same thing. And for the last cards, we're playing 3 Impermanents. I were playing Baylor over this at the beginning because we have so many cards that need to tribute monsters. But in a earlier iteration of this list, I was playing something with talents alongside this, and every single time I drew talents, my opponent would just imperm and I'd pass more or less. So yeah, again, we see more and more lists play talents, so therefore we're trying to play a little bit around it. So for the extract, we're playing more or less the mandatory cards. We're playing the 2 Azamina fusions, mandatory in my book. We're playing Anima, IP, SP, also quite mandatory. Like, none of these cards are really, you know, negotiable. Rabbit and Prom Princess. Rabbit being an amazing card. Not really an extender, because if you search the fusion with you, Rabbit not really a extender, because you just set the trap. But yeah, it is what it is. Prom, of course, mandatory, as I said before. Playing 2 Charmers and a Phoenix. Also feels kind of mandatory. The Phoenix is amazing because we are also playing the Silentis combo. And if the opponent doesn't have any monsters, being able to summon Phoenix and pop it to summon the Raging Phoenix back just is amazing. And of course, that being said, playing the Silentis combo feels like it's more or less mandatory in this. I've seen people going for Celine and Access Code, and I definitely see that being a thing, but I feel like this is still better for getting through boards, being Silentis being able to pop non-target. That being said, I have been going for this combo for the first turn, being able to have the Silentis out and just trying to protect the SP or whatever. But I have diverged from that, and now the end board is early. I'll get more into that later, but I think this is an amazing card for the end board, and being able to not play the Raging Phoenix and Silentis on turn 1, because maybe not game 1, but in the game where we go first, if we do go first after die roll, losing the Silentis for whatever reason just is devastating for this deck, because we don't have any other finishers. Having the early on the board instead, not being too devastated if it leaves the field, is just so much better. It's a much greater feeling, and it just being a monster negate is enough, at least. So for the non-mandatory cards, I could say, we are playing a Closed Moon, just Closed World, just in case that, you know, towers, or for whatever reason we need to get rid of something that we cannot. And for the Tempai matchup, we're playing Fuku. Fuku just, you know, worst case scenario, the opponent shifters and we're able to get an Ash into Poplar. Worst case scenario, we just, you know, place Fuku, get our turn back, and hopefully we can play into their almost going first board. Hopefully the Tenpai players won't catch up to this and begin to play the Kaijus. That would really suck. But yeah, I would say this is the best plan against Shifter and other stuff that could stop us. Going into the side deck, I have been tinkering with this, but I wanted to show you what I've been bringing to local, so this is what I'm going to show you. Not sure that I would change this, but here goes. So the mandatory in the side deck, of course, is Retaliating Sea, being the strongest card in the mirror, and also being good against, you know, stuff like Branded. You could argue something like Sprite also. Like, just having the shifter that we can remove on our turn, not being locked under it, is, well, amazing, surprisingly. Playing 3 deep area. I have earlier been testing with Frost and 1 deep area, but I mean, it is a 4th deep area, so there's a bigger chance of getting it. But having a thrust in hand and an opponent just not having anything, just doesn't feel as good. Like, getting full inboard is amazing, but you know, the players always have it, and this is just another out to the board. Talking especially about 10-pie players. Playing the no you don't, the stun cards for the deck. Yeah, nothing really much to say about it. Just like, worst case scenario, we'll build the board, they try to do something, we use all our interruptions. If they have more, we still have some floodgates to help us going first. I feel like, I'm not really sure about this card, but I still feel like, you know, going against Fire King, this is the best card I'd imagine. And just being able to, you know, worst case scenario, being able to remove something off the field. Also in the mirror, of course, being able to just remove Deception or whatever. Cosmic seems like the card to go. Then we are playing 2 Lightning Storm, 1 Duster. I'm not really sure about this. So this is what we were talking about, going through the side deck. I have been testing with Perulia, the other Molchami, instead of these. And it also feels better. Like, going first, we never side this in, and going second, we just want to see more engine, or seeing, well, draws. So I don't really feel like this is enough. I haven't sided these much. And when I do, I really haven't seen them, so I can't say much about this. But I feel like the Perulia is better. And the 15th card of the side deck I have been thinking about, and I've tried some different things. You know, having Frost in, I have tried some different trap cards and spell cards and whatever. But so far I've landed on the last Sinful Spoils. This going second, being an extra interruption. Like, worst case, we summon Poplar and we already have the field spell and the other one has already been used, the OSS. We can search this. Okay, this can start in the hand, of course, and we just push something back. It is definitely the 15th card of this side deck. And I'm not really sure what to put in. If you know a better card to put in other than this, please let me know down in the comments. But this is the deck as it is. Let's get into the combos. So for the first combo, I want to show how 1 Ash can get us full end board. Well, a strong end board at least. So for this, we go main phase. We go normal summon Ash. Ash effect to search out the Poplar. Poplar effect in hand to summon itself out. Poplar on field, search out the field spell. We then activate field spell by placing 1 Diabellstar into the graveyard. Now we can go Ash effect to summon out Oak. We go Oak effect to summon Ash back. Now we link summon into the Rabbit, the Ribbit Rabbit. Now we can go Poplar 1, target Diabellstar for an extra body, and Rabbit 2 to place the spell trap. We'll leave this face up on the field, just so we know what it is, and we place Diabellstar into the spell trap zone. Now we go Diabellstar effect to set either or, doesn't really matter what it is. So we put Ash into the spell trap zone, summon itself out. Now we can exactly use Oak to send away the Ash, to summon out the Flamberge Dragon. Now we go the more known standard line, we go into IP here. We go Flamberge Dragon effect, Reborn 2. Reborn just 2 names, doesn't really matter which. Now we can go into Link 3, Vermilion Princess. Vermilion Princess will now summon back the Flamberge. I usually put it in defense in case of our opponent is a Tempai player or something like that. We wouldn't know. Not really. And this just plays a little bit around Lightning Storm. Now we go Flamberge effect to put the IP into the spell trap zone. And for the joker of this, we get the hit knight early. This is more or less the endboard, but it's still, it doesn't seem like a lot to me either, but it is. I feel this is really strong. So what do we actually have here? We have the chance to summon back the IP, either with field spell or flamberge. We have the option to summon out the Azarune. Summoning either the Azarune or the IP will get us a spell trap destroyer. Alongside this, if we use the flamberge or the rapid effect, we can in the same chain activate the Erling and negate an opponent's monster and make its attack 0. Makes this great for if you have summoned IP or you want to protect your stuff. Other than that, we have Promethean to summon back. Usually I want my opponent to remove my flamberge and we want to pop the Pit Knight, because Pit Knight, if destroyed by card effect or battle, will during the end phase return itself to the field, making us have another interaction for our next turn. And I want to remind you, if we do get the flamberge destroyed and sent to the graveyard, we usually want to bring back the Oak and the Poplar. Then we can pop Oak effect, add the Ash back, and Poplar effect to search the OSS. For next turn, we have plenty of engine, even if they do get through our board. And remember, this is just off one Ash. We still have plenty of interruption possibilities left. So for the second combo, I want to show you how Unwanted can get us the same endboard as the Ash combo, but better. So we go usually draw phase, Wanted, search the Witch. Then we go main phase, we go Witch, send whatever random card from our hand. Unfortunately, we have to send one. Witch sets the Deception, we activate the Deception. Deception tributes Witch and searches our hallowed Azamina. We go activate, reveal, for whatever reason, send Deception. We go Regulago effect, search the OSS. Now we can hallowed, add back by bouncing the Regulago. Now we can hallowed, show the Sylvia, send the OSS to the graveyard, and from here we just, banish OSS, search the Ash, still having the normal summon, so we can normal summon Ash and go for the rest of the combo as we saw before. Ending with Rabbit, the Azarune set, the IP in spell trap zone, flamberge on the field, and whatever else. Just having the extra protection during our turn or the extra negate during the opponent's turn. And of course, since we want to search with Poplar in our opponent's turn, don't forget to Wanted, put back the OSS, and to draw a card. This is usually not what we draw doing that. Also remember, we set the Deception during the end phase. So for the third combo, I want to show you what I would say at least is the potential best endboard for this deck. So yeah, we go main phase, Wraith Stealth to search out the Fenrir. We want to save the Wanted in case they do draw us or something like that. We can always chain the Wanted to the draw and try to get something. So anyway, let's do that here. We search out the Diabellstar. Fortunately for us, they do not have the draw, so we Fenrir effect, search out the Unicorn. Now we will Black Witch to send the Fenrir to the graveyard. Black Witch effect, then set the Deception. We activate Deception. Deception will tribute a monster to search out the Hallowed. Now that we have no monsters, we can special summon out the Unicorn. Unicorn will get us Birth. I mean, we can activate Birth here, might as well. Then it is on the field, right? We can now activate Hallowed, send the Deception, to summon out the Regulago. Regulago will now search us the OSS. Now we will Hollowed back to hand by sending the Regulago back into the extra deck. We can now Hallowed, send the OSS, summon up the Sylvia. As you saw before with the Ash combo, we want Sylvia. We want these 3 stones to be free as possible. Now, to get into the Ash, we banish OSS. We'll summon the Ash. We can now normal summon. We haven't done that yet. Ash, search Poplar effect, summon out. Search the Temple. We can now Ash, send the field spell. Summon Oak. Oak will now summon back Ash. We can now activate the field spell to put Diabellstar into spell trap zone. Now we can link, as before, into the Rabbit. Rabbit will set the Azarune. We can now Diabellstar to summon by setting the Poplar. Doesn't really matter. We don't really use Poplar effect here, so it is an extra instant that we go Oak. Summon Flamberge. And now, just as before, send 2 IP. Now Flamberge effect will activate. Summon 2 out. And then just 4. Remediant Princess. Princess effect will summon out the Flamberge. Flamberge will spell trap zone the IP. Now we can send away these 2 for the Pit Knight. Now we can Birth to bring back that long forgotten Fenrir. And now don't forget, we want that extra draw, so we can want it. Put back the OSS that we banished. Draw a card. Perfect. Hand trap, just what we want to see. Also don't forget the end phase. We want to set Deception for that extra spice. And if we did want to, you know, keep our board full, we could have popped the Ash or whatever. Doesn't really matter. So for this, of course, we cannot summon the IP, we cannot activate the Azarune yet. So we want the opponent to play into this board. But I wouldn't say that's quite hard. We have the Fenrir banish, the Kashtira banish. Hopefully the opponent does something during our turn to warrant the Unicorn. We can, as most times, just remove the Sylvia. Then we'll be able to summon out the IP. The IP can remove itself and Rabbit. Get us the SP to get something to banish. Now we also have space for Azarune. Alongside this, if we have a Flamberge Dragon, the IP, we can negate that. If we don't need to do that, we can get the SP to banish the... We can SP banish to get the Pit Knight negate. Worst case scenario, we can SP banish whatever, and then we can early. We also have 3 banishes from Birth, and we have whatever hand traps we should have. I'd say if we get to this board, it is more or less impossible to play through. But this is the end board that I want to see when I'm playing. Anyways, thank you for watching. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about this. If there's anything missing or if there's anything I should change, think about. So let me know. If there is any combos you want to see in the future, I will be playing this deck for quite a few weeks at least. So if there's anything there is missing or you want to know more of, let me know. But thank you for watching. See you out there. Bye.